Hello,
Ladies
hello.
and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, this is a little different. I like this. It's a little tighter,
Yeah,
You know, little
I
zoomed
can.
in. All
I
right,
can
welcome.
go back.
There we go. I like
I
that.
can open
I
it
like
up
that.
for you. Is it
I like
better?
that a little bit better. Yeah, I like that a little better. And you're looking mighty crisp this evening. I like that.
I'm changing the camera angle. That's why.
Okay. Welcome to the show, ladies and
It's
gentlemen. It's Monday sucks. It's Monday sucks. Hopefully your
Monday.
Monday didn't suck. Because I know I'm
It's
having a
Monday.
great Monday. It's Monday. It's
It's
Monday.
Monday. It is Monday.
Sorry, you know what? I'll be honest. I'm super like I feel like I'm already kind of hyped, but I'm like on an ultra hype because I actually got to be around real people, and people besides Harry and Rebecca. Get around people, got to socialize, got to go out. I finally got to meet Andrea in person.
Yeah.
Super cool. Man, I'm a social butterfly high right now. I got it going.
Cloud 9.
I got it going. Yes. It feels good to be back. It feels so good to be back.
That's good. That is good.
How are you, man? How are you
Man, I'm
doing?
well. I had an interesting weekend, but beside that,
I think
you know,
I think it's safe to say both had interesting weekends.
very
Well, let's see. Let's get this going. Let's get some drinks. Let's get some conversation. We got we got people in the chat. Hello. Welcome to the show. So glad to see y'all here. Please make sure you like and share. Jack, you are muted. I don't know if you can hear me, but you are muted. But make sure you like and share this with all your friends. Let's get it
if
going.
since this is a new platform for us, we want to make sure that you guys are here. And if you're on Facebook, share it in your whiskey group. Get everybody involved so they can actually like and follow Hood Sommelier or Single Barrel Snob, and make sure that you are supporting us in our venture. It's always good just to go on YouTube. Make sure you put the bell notification so when you follow, put the bell notification so if something is happening, you can be aware. Share it with your friend, brother, uncle, mama, baby mamas, and their baby mamas, as long as they love people and they love whiskey and they believe that Monday sucks sometime. Welcome to the show. This is wow. I realized that we've been doing this for quite some time.
Dude, we've been doing this. We've been almost doing this a year, man. We're about to hit that year mark. We're about to hit that year mark.
Mm.
I'm digging it.
I'll do myself a favor and I'll get on my Facebook and I'll be sure to share this
I'm
with my
doing the same thing. I just noticed that I am logged in to the wrong account here on my phone. So to share this. I'm doing the same thing. I just noticed that I am logged in. Hey, it's me. Me here too. On my phone. So share this. I'm doing the same thing. I just noticed that I am logged in. Hey, it's me.
so you are pretty much I'm making sure that I'm sharing it with my whiskey groups that I'm in. So if you guys are here, make sure you do the same. Get on your phone and share with your whiskey group and invite people in so they can know what we do here and they can know what is it that we are talking about when it comes to the word of whiskey, because today is going to be quite educational.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that you guys hear it and you guys learn a little bit about what I do or what we know or the little that we've learned through our time in the around the industry. So hello. If you're here, we're gonna get the comment. I'm gonna check the commentary for a little bit. If you're here, tell us what you're drinking. Right? What are you drinking on this Monday?
Yes.
I am drinking my favorite now. I've been in love with this Glen Rough vintage signatory.
Oh, Is that the one you got when you were out here last time?
Yeah, the party source,
Yes.
the party source
The
signatory.
store Rebecca won't let you tell me about.
So it is. I'll be dabbling between that and a friend of mine gave me some Eagle Rare 17 from 2011.
Oh, there you go. That's fun. That's fun.
2011 Eagle Rare 17. So that's what I've been drinking. So what is in your glass? What are you guys drinking? Talk to me. Talk to me. What is in
I
your glass? What are you guys
I'll
drinking? I want to know.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I'm lacking in that department currently. I did have some um Heaven Hill White Label 6 year bottled and bond at the restaurant. That's
Mhm.
kind of been that's just always been my pour every time I go to that restaurant. I just
Mhm.
have to get it. It's just like it's a nostalgia thing. So I've had a little bit of that, but currently I'm just sipping on some water in my good old chug mug. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you, buddy. And trying to make sure that I get logged into this chat here because, well,
Oh,
I'm an idiot.
we getting
I'm
some
an idiot,
stuff coming
and
in.
I forgot my password again. You know, that's what happens when you get old. You have a password for this and a password for that, and oh, it's totally this password. I know. Nope, it's not. Guess what? You got to reset your password. Here we go.
We are having some old tubs, some Bookers, the granny batch. The granny batch is an amazing batch,
Ooh, oh my God, it really is.
man.
Have you
Ooh,
had the most? That's the most recent one, right?
yeah. No, 2021. 2021-01. That's the
Have you had the most recent one yet?
I did.
Thoughts?
Uh
Oh, a pause, a pause. Okay. It's one of those.
I will be honest. I will be honest. This
Okay. That's
this truly is gonna be the first Bookers that made me go, "Mm,
wow.
yes."
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm glad we're being honest here. Okay.
It's I don't know. As you can tell, if I lift my camera and I show you up here, I have every barrel, every single release since 2014
Right.
Bookers. But this year particularly, I had it, and I hate to say it, man. From even I went to, I say new consumers definitely. Uh,
Sure. They're gonna love it, right?
no. I said new consumers definitely will hate it.
Oh,
Because
wow.
yeah,
Okay.
because you get that rubbery, just um, the nose is not attractive at all. It was a
Okay.
little too much. So as an expert, or at least as somebody with a more refined palate, I had a hard time. So the only thing I can say is all they can do is maybe let it sit for a while. So
Okay. Okay.
up a little bit, maybe with a little bit of the oxidation, we will see a little flavor coming in. But if it was based on my assessment of the neck pour, it was a C for me.
Wow.
Yeah, not even a B. It was a C for me, honestly, because I know Booker's has better. I've been a full old Booker's for a while. I've had quite a few Bookers, and I'll be honest, Booker's can be better than this year release. This
I mean, it's safe to say you've had all the batches, right?
not almost, not all, almost.
Sure. Like I think there's what, maybe two or three you haven't had yet?
Yeah,
Okay. So that's damn, that's kind of huge coming from you. I mean,
I know, and I love Bookers. I love Bookers. Like I really do love Bookers, but this year release, I don't know what happened. I
okay.
really don't know what happened.
Josh, I want to ask you, I see you're drinking the barrel proof A121. I have a bottle of that waiting for me. I haven't picked it up yet, so I'm curious what you think on it.
I'm curious here to know if any of you maybe had the new Bookers, the Bookers 2021-01.
Yeah, there we go. Let's talk about that too.
Yeah,
Let's talk about the Bookers, and let's talk about Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Let's do this.
yeah. So, or the Elijah Craig that is there, those on 2 new release. If you had it, what do you think? Because that, like I said, I was telling Tim that barrel, that new Booker's, just is a C, but I'm letting it sit for about
Damn, you would give it a C?
a C.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have Booker's here that are A all day, right?
Sure.
Let's go with the granny batch. Last year, 2021, right? 2020 segment 1. That granny batch was so good. I finished a whole bottle, and I even bought the granny batch, right? European import. That's how much I actually love.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I have the European.
You're geeking hard over here.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm like, he can be better. So because I know he can be better, they totally get a C from me.
Damn, coming hard with the heat. Okay.
Is a major C for me. So
I'm finishing off. I'm gonna finish off the last of this Smoke on the Water 2017 Kentucky Spirit single barrel.
okay.
That has now been dubbed the Picks and Pours bottle. If you're not following Picks and Pours on Instagram, shoot on over to Instagram. Check out Picks and Pours. Great bottles, great photography.
I finished to an Isla, a 12-year Bowmore. A 12-year Bowmore. Bowmore is it's perfect vanilla balance. It is an Isla, but a low peated. So, but it's 40 proof, so it'll keep me going.
There you go. What would you say is your
thoughts on 3 chords?
Thoughts on 3 chord?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are we talking like special release 3 chord or like overall 3 chord? Like what?
Yeah, that's a good question. What do you want to know exactly about 3 chords?
Oh, was that a Facebook comment? Because there we go. Okay, see, there we go. I need these comments rolling over here because I am missing out on some of. There we go. Okay, now I see everything. Cool. Yeah. Now we're good. Thoughts on 3 chord. I am a huge fan of the Whiskey Drummer. In fact, I just finished a Whiskey Drummer. There's a 3 chord Whiskey Drummer. Donezo. I thought that was a fantastic bottle.
A 12-year and a regular expression.
The 12. Oh man, I had a 12-year single barrel that was it was actually 13 years 8 months. That thing was bananas. Like not tasted bananas. Like it was just stupid how good it was. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, it was an extra aged single barrel. I'm kind of curious what the future of the company is going to be now. So Laura is my region's like rep ambassador, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So I get to talk with her like on a semi regular basis. I bump into her, she's at the store, we get to chat, and they are all out of their 12-year-old stock. They're not doing extra aged anymore. So they're going to sit right around I think 6 years.
Okay.
Which nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. But when you've had some of this really good extra aged whiskey, I'm kind of curious what it's going to mean for the company's future. I'm excited to try more of it. I'm having a private tasting with them on the 20th, so I can try some of their younger stuff, and maybe they'll pull out some surprises. I don't know, but overall, the direction that the company was going, I was super excited for. Now I'm a little weary because I don't know what's going to happen. So I think that's my thoughts and feelings.
Uh-oh. I think his internet went out. Or did his computer die? Anyway. Okay. What happened?
I have no idea. That was so bizarre. I guess I'm not supposed to share my real feelings. It was like as soon as I finished the sentence, it threw me out. Okay, now I'm back. Good Lord.
Oh man.
Oh my
No, but
goodness.
I'll be honest and say I like the drummer. I really do like the drummer. Drummer for me is one of my favorite. But the younger expression is not my cup of tea. Definitely not my cup of tea.
Daniel made a really good point. He said locals in Tennessee are upset. He actually said heated. Okay, I'll try to as closely verbatim read this. Locals in Tennessee are heated that they've been buying sourced out of state bourbon because they think that they're supporting local business.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I mean that's a great angle, and actually it kind of segues into what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yep.
That's a great yeah.
That's actually is a really really good segue into what we wanted to discuss today. So the title of today, good to see you also, buddy. The title of today, it's about I called it where whiskey label matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason why your whiskey label matters is because you have to understand that for you to be able to put any whiskey out, there's a few requirement from the TTB, the tobacco, the tax, the Tax and Tobacco Bureau, TTB, that requires you, um, what do you call it? Requires you to put a certain information on your label,
Right.
and once that information is there, by law, right? By law, you have to put as accurate of information as possible for you not to be sued for lying to your consumer, specifically when it comes to alcohol. So for being someone, when I started my journey in whiskey, my problem was I will read stuff, but I rely always on the hype, right? It's the hype. Oh,
Sure.
this is so and so and so. This is unicorn poop barrel something. You have to try it. It was never based on one, my palate education, and it was never based also on what I need to see or the word or the keywords I need to see on a bottle to know, okay, even if I don't know a lot about alcohol, by reading this I know for sure that by law it can only be this or this for them to actually put on the label. So I say, Tim, let's tell people about the labels that they have on their bottle, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Will a little bit help you even get away from the hype and the lies and the misleading that some of these companies or whiskey group make you all go through, because they're not telling you exactly what you need to be looking for to be informed, to be very informed. So we are going to start. We have so many that we can go through, but I have some that are some keywords that I want you to know, that I seriously believe are important. So, um, the first thing I'll probably go with, I would let Tim tell y'all what is, if somebody reads on their bottle the word straight bourbon, right? Let me see. Let me find a straight bourbon here. We have plenty of things that say, yep. So we're gonna take even a brand that is not so popular, Old Hammer. So
Sure.
I don't know Old Hammer, right? I have no idea who Old Hammer the brand is. The proof is I bought it and it's in my wall of shame. I actually never even opened it and bought it. So Old Hammer, and I go to the store, I see Old Hammer, and they go is 80 proof. Okay, all right, I see that. Approved by Julian Jones, the head distiller. Okay. They say is made with 99% corn and 1% malted barley. Miller corn. But it was made with and then he said under the name is Old Hammer uh, straight bourbon whiskey. Uh, sir, what is this straight bourbon whiskey that I see on bottle all the time. What does that mean? Straight bourbon whiskey. What does that even mean?
So straight bourbon means that it's at, simply put, it's at least 2 years old. Okay. So
Okay.
straight bourbon whiskey, it's at least 2 years old. And if it's younger than 4 years, it has to say so on the bottle. Sometimes you'll see this done with months, and sometimes you'll see this done with years. Great example, just regular JTS Brown, not the bonded, but JTS Brown, the 80 proof. It says on the back of the bottle, it says aged 36 months. So a 3-year-old product.
But is that
So
also,
what?
is that also a straight bourbon?
Yes. So it's actually that, it's a Kentucky straight bourbon. So that's another descriptor. A Kentucky straight bourbon means that it laid down in Kentucky for at least 1 year, 1 day, and now it's the 1 day so they can get the taxes. It's all about taxes. Whiskey is all about taxes. So now you have Kentucky. So you can have Kentucky bourbon, and then you have Kentucky straight bourbon. So now it aged in Kentucky for at least 1 year, 1 day, and it's at least 2 years old.
So it could be called Kentucky straight.
Right. Now this is where there's kind of a gray area in this, because I actually dove into a little bit deeper on this, because there's a lot of, I don't want to say fuckery, but there's a lot of people bending the rules and trying to get away with more than they can. They're like, "Oh, well, it doesn't say it." So there's, as far as I can tell, it doesn't say if it has to be new make whiskey into a new charred oak barrel laying down for at least 1 year and 1 day in Kentucky.
Nickel. Now as a consumer, I don't know what to look for. I needed to make it
Right.
dummy proof.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. This is the one part that is kind of not dummy proof. So as far as what I can tell, it seems like that you could have an extra aged product. You could source it from somewhere and then bring it to Kentucky and let it age Kentucky for 1 year and 1 day. And now you can call your product Kentucky straight bourbon. So there's this weird little loophole. But as long as it's laying down for at least a year and a day, you can call it Kentucky bourbon.
Okay.
So that's the weird part of the law.
So if it doesn't say Kentucky straight, that means it's been aged at least 2 years, but somewhere else, right?
Correct. So if it just says straight bourbon, that means it's American made, but it didn't lay down in Kentucky for a year.
That's what I wanted you to give to the consumer, because somebody who goes and look at a bottle and you say Kentucky straight, and one just say Kentucky straight bourbon versus actually something that say Kentucky, something that say straight bourbon, the person should know immediately that the one denominator here is that as long as he said Kentucky, that means he stayed at least in Kentucky for 1 year, 1 month. That's
right.
all. If that
1 year, 1 day.
1 day. So if that type of things are important to you, that your barrel have laid in Kentucky, guess what?
There you go.
But does that make a difference in the juice?
I mean, it might, because of our crazy weather conditions. Maybe it's going to change a little bit, but I mean, I think you might just be splitting hairs here, to be completely honest. If that's what you want, cool. Fucking go for it. Drink
That's
it.
what you're looking for.
Nothing wrong with it.
All right. So let's take another one. Does the same rule apply here? Now, before I tell you anything, I have to remind you that for anybody to call anything bourbon, so just in case we're coming back to the basics.
Yeah, let's go to the basics. I love talking about the basics.
Something to be called bourbon, it has to be one made with 51%.
At least, yes.
51% minimum of corn need to be part of the making of that whiskey. Everything else can be shit, but 51% corn is required. If it's more, doesn't matter. As long as 51%, they can. Second, it has to be aged in
Actually,
in
go ahead.
American. It has to be aged in into an American white oak? Charred or
Actually, it doesn't have to be American. It just has to be oak. It has to be new charred oak.
not
It
charred?
has to be. It has to be. It has to be new charred oak.
Okay. Every book I read all said the same thing. The definition have varied a little bit, but it has to be American oak. So
Just new oak. I promise you, it's just new oak. It's. They say American. This is one
yeah,
of those things, though. They say American because it's American oak is just the best. The white American oak's the best thing. And here's another one of those like, got to read between the line things.
okay.
It doesn't have to be a barrel. It hasn't. It's they're working on changing it so it has to be a barrel. But the legal definition is charred oak container.
So it could be somebody who just make a whole Damshan barrel with just oak and that's it. Wow.
As long as it's new, yeah.
Wow.
But now it comes down to another thing. A barrel, the sphere, it has the best seal, and it stores the best. So that's why they use a barrel. But I mean, you could do a box, you could do a triangle, you could do an octagon.
That is true.
Fuck
That
it, whatever you want. As long as it's new oak and it's charred, do it.
So yeah, new charred oak, not American oak. And just new oak. So what about if he says Kentucky straight rye whiskey though? What does that mean?
Ooh. Same thing, man. The same. It's that's some of the same descriptors as bourbon. So rye and bourbon kind of follow some of the same guidelines. Like you have to have 51% corn for bourbon. You have to have 51% rye for rye.
Mm-hmm. So
you have to have a new charred oak. Blah 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 blah. It's almost all the same. It's almost all the same descriptors of bourbon that it is rye, give or take.
doesn't have to be a barrel. We agree.
It's correct. It does not have to be a barrel.
Hmm.
When I found that out, my my world got rocked just a little bit. I was like, damn.
So if a client, we have a lot of expert drinkers here, so that's a good thing, because I believe this help any new consumer, really just get into knowing what their label is saying and what the heck does that mean. Let's go with your name first. When something say single barrel, what do they mean?
Single barrel, man. This stuff. I love that we're doing this because this is seriously my favorite part about whiskey. Like getting down to just like the basics. Single barrel is.
Before you go on, we got a little bit of fuckery going on.
Yeah.
I wasn't even flexing.
We're throwing shade in the chat for sure.
I wasn't even flexing. Not even a shade. Like I really wasn't even flexing. I literally just I literally just pulled out like the bottle because I'm like, oh, that's the most age rye that I have. So
this guy, he's like, yeah, there we go. Let me pull this.
I'm sorry, guys. I did not.
Here's this Booker's. Oh, look at this Booker's Rye. Hey, if you see on this bottle, Booker's.
No, I wasn't. My intent was not to flex. I promise y'all, that was not my intent. I just
we're just throwing shade. We're just throwing shade.
Age right. That's all. I apologize. This was not a flex.
So single barrel, yes.
Yeah,
single barrel is one. Single barrel. So you took all the contents that were in that one barrel and you bottled it. You didn't add any other whiskey. Now you could add other things, as in water, but you didn't add any other whiskey. You just bottled whatever was in that barrel, and that's that. So single barrel.
Wow. Thank you, Tim. Wow. No, seriously, they're on my case. But what does that mean if he actually says Barrel strength. All right.
So you and I talked on this briefly for a second earlier. So there's barrel strength, there's barrel proof, there's cast strength, there's cast proof. Barrel strength, that's what you really want to look for. Barrel strength or cast strength. That's whatever was in the barrel. It didn't get fucked with. It didn't get watered down. They just went, okay, cool. This is 134 proof. It's getting bottled at 134 proof. It's its purest form. Barrel strength or cast strength single barrel is the purest, I would say, the purest form of the whiskey that you can drink, period. Didn't get any additives. There was nothing. It might have gotten like some screen filtering to get some of the barrel char out of it, but I mean, you're basically sipping it out of a barrel with a straw.
Okay. What if it says? So I've been reading this expression on bottles, right, all the time, and I'm like, what does that mean when these motherfuckers, wink, wink, says 4-grain whiskey? 4-grain. What does that mean?
Sure. So all whiskey is 3-grain. You have your corn, you have your rye, and you have your barley, or you have your corn, your wheat, and your barley. 4-grain means it has those 3, and then they added another one. So a lot of times you'll see a 4-grain, it's a rye and a wheat. So you'll have corn, rye, wheat, and barley. Or we go to Spirits of French Lick, where he has corn, rye, barley, and oats.
Okay.
So 4-grain, there's some 5-grain. I've heard 6-grain. Now we're getting into some fucking weird shit. But yeah, I've seen a few 5-grains, but 4-grains is just that. You have your 3 standards, and then you're just adding one extra thing.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you see 4-grain, what they simply are saying is
seeing milk.
Just 4 grains. They have
4 grains. 4 grains. It means exactly that. 4 grains.
Now, before we jump into the Scotch side of things,
can I throw one more at you?
No, there's plenty. I have plenty. I see.
No, but
I see an expression that say small batch. These people all say small batch.
Thank you for the donation, man. Appreciate you. You're awesome, Josh. Love it, bud. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Just donated.
Thank you, Josh. You're awesome, dude. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Personally. Thank you so much, Josh.
Thanks, buddy. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Donation. It means a lot. You actually the first person to donate to the show.
He is. Appreciate it, man. You rock. You're awesome.
It's weird. I feel like $5 richer.
The show is now $5 wealthier.
The show is now $5 richer. I would like to tell everybody I'm famous now. Please,
we're famous now. We're famous fuckers. Thank you.
Please address me by Mr. Hood. Do not call me Hood.
I am now Mr. the Snob.
I am
Mr. the Snob. Excuse me, Mr. the Snob.
refer to me now as Mr. Hood Sommelier because I have $5 to my show's name that I did not even have to beg, crawl, and ask for. So thank you so much, sir. It's much more appreciated.
Small batch. Small batch. We're getting into some fuckery here because small batch is not a legal term. It is gimmicks. It's snake salesman. It's snake oil salesman. Whoa. It does not mean anything unless they're saying small batch of X amount of barrels. So unless it says the amount of barrels that they're using in their small batch, it could fucking mean anything. Let's say, great example, okay? Let's say Woodford does a batch. They do a regular standard batch, and they use 500 barrels in their blend. Because they found that these 500 barrels make a perfect blend every single time. They could turn around and go, hey, guys, let's do a small batch. And they could use 499 barrels and call it a small batch because it's smaller than their normal batch.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you see on the label that says, I think confiscated actually says how many barrels they used. There's one I saw recently that said small batch of 11 barrels, and I was like, that's really cool.
That is
You
good.
specified exactly how many barrels you used in your small batch. You'll even see the term sometimes very small batch.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're telling you exactly how many barrels they're using, it's just some fuckery, man. It is a smaller batch than what they're normally doing, but we don't really know what it is. So
it's not a legal term, so anybody can throw small batch at things and not really get penalized for it.
exactly.
So what is this rare and limited? Is that also a sales gimmick?
Absolutely.
Mr. Single Barrel Snob.
It's Mr. the Snob. Excuse me, Mr. the Snob.
Mr. the Snob is my name.
Yeah, very, very fine, very rare. I mean, I would hope that these distilleries have some integrity, and if they're throwing words like that on they're actually adhering to something.
Mhm.
But because it doesn't have a legal definition, guess what? They don't. Sam Houston 14, that's what it was. Sam Houston 14 said how many barrels there were in the batch.
Yes.
But if it's not it's not a legal term, so I mean very fine, very rare, unlimited.
For
Yeah, man, there's no, sadly it's not something that is an actual thing. So there's that one as well.
all right. You say you had another one yourself.
You know, you brought it up. I was going to bring up small batch. You brought up small batch, so we're moving forward. If the did you try it was in reference to the Sam Houston 14, I did. I was actually kind of surprised by it. I didn't think that I was going to like it. I think it's like a 96.8 proof or 98 proof or something that's kind of. Tell you one thing I've noticed, and this is why I usually don't chase extra aged whiskey that's proofed, because the things that I pick out when it's proofed and it's extra aged is just oak. And you could have the same whiskeys side by side, and one's cask strength and one's proofed, and I will not drink the proof one because all I taste is just oak and char and just it's not pleasant for me. It's not enjoyable. I don't like it. But for being proofed down, oh yeah, we can talk about bottle and bond. We'll do bottle and bond.
I was about to bring a bottle that has it so people would know.
There's one behind you, the 1792 yellow label. It's right over your head,
yeah.
over your shoulder. I see the yellow. I see the yellow label.
Many of them. I have to turn around slowly.
But yeah, the Sam Houston 14, I was actually kind of impressed by it. It wasn't over oaked. It was pleasant. It had some nice sweetness, some nice fruity characters, some nice tropical notes. I liked it. I thought it was good, and it was priced fairly reasonable too. I think it was like $110-ish, not crazy. I would have liked to see it probably closer to $90. I think that would have been a better buy. Bottled in bond, the good old bonded, the good old bib, as people like to call it. Bib. Confession time. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but it's like nails on a chalkboard when I'm having a conversation with somebody and they say the word bib.
Yeah.
If we're like talking like on the internet or sending emails back and forth and they go BIB, that's fine. That doesn't bother me. But for some reason, when someone says bib, it just like and I don't ever. Well, I'm telling you all now, so I guess secret's out of the bag. But I never say anything. I just kind of roll with it. So yeah, bonded, bottled in bond, bib, bottled in bond act. This is probably one of my favorite things to talk about. If you didn't know, you're too shy to ask. You're too shy to ask. We're going to talk about bottled in bond act. So prior to 1897, in fact, let's pour a little bonded. Let's pay homage to the Colonel, because if it wasn't for the Colonel, if it wasn't for Colonel Taylor, we would not have bonded whiskey. This man was a pioneer. This man changed the game of whiskey. Prior to 1897, people were legitimately dropping dead from drinking whiskey. It's where the term rock gut whiskey came from. Why, you ask? Well, I'm glad you ask why. Because
But
whiskey was so profitable. Whiskey was so profitable that people were doing whatever they could to churn a product that looked and smelled and tasted
like
so it had the bite or burn of whiskey.
So
that wasn't whiskey, and people were dying from it. So battery acid, spittoon juice, prune juice, shit, man, you name it, it went into the bottle, and people were dying from it. So the government stepped in. And this is interesting because this was 9 years before the Food and Drug Act even started. Whiskey is where the government first stepped in. And they said, look, we're going to put a seal of approval on the bottle. So you'll know. Actually, it'd be on the barrel too, because a lot of times you were buying whiskey right out of the barrel as well. So you'll know that if it's bonded or bottled in bond, that you're not going to die from it. You're getting a quality product from distillery. So it meant this. It's from one distillery in one distilling season, so either fall or spring. So you could not blend barrels from one season to another. It had to be from one distilling season, from one master distiller. So that meant like somewhere in between barrels were laying down, were bonded, and another master distiller came on. Those barrels could no longer be bonded. He had to start over and do his own barrels.
Yeah.
And it was in a federally governed warehouse. That one doesn't really apply so much as it did before. Whiskey was getting stolen all the time, so it had to get locked down by the government as well. So a government had the key and the master distiller had a key, and that was the only way you could get into the warehouse was with the government. Now, all warehouses are federally bonded because you're paying taxes on your warehouse. So any warehouse can be a bonded warehouse. Fun fact, right? I just learned that recently too. So it was bonded by the government. The government controlled it, and it was 100 proof. It couldn't go into the bottle anything more than 100 proof, and it was at least 4 years old. So that way you knew you're drinking bonded whiskey. You're getting at least, you know exactly what you're getting. You're not going to die from it. You're getting a quality product, and we legitimately owe that to Colonel E.H. Taylor. This is the man. This is the man that not the whiskey, the name. I want you to look at this name here, okay? This is the man. This is the man that created whiskey that's bonded. He pushed for this. He is the reason that people stopped dying, and I mean, may have saved whiskey altogether because it got such a bad reputation that people are like, well, fuck it, I'm not going to drink whiskey. I could die. I could die from that stuff. I don't want to drink it. So it's a really good chance that guy saved whiskey completely.
There's a reason why he's
so cheers to the fucking Colonel. Thank you, Mr. Taylor, for saving whiskey. Cheers. And I'll give a shout out to one other person because it kind of, I'd say within the last, I don't know, let's say like 20 years max. It's probably not that long. Whatever. Within the last 20 years, good old Bernie Lubbers. I don't think he's been with Heaven Hill that long, but good old Bernie Lubbers, the head ambassador for Heaven Hill. That guy is a bonded nut. If it's bonded whiskey, he wants to drink it, and he talks about it. He even has a tattoo that says on his arm, bottled in bond. He is the reason, I will say this full-heartedly, he is the reason that bottled in bond got so big again. Bonded's always been around, but it kind of like just, it's everyone's talking about bonded now, and that was not a thing before. So cheers to Mr. Lubbers as well. Love you, buddy. You're awesome.
So,
and that's the Bottled in Bond Act. Not all heroes wear capes. You're damn right.
That is very true.
Yeah, there's another great question. Why is non-chill filtered worth nothing on some bottles? Okay, wait. Why non-chill filtered worth noting on some bottles? Is chill filtered?
I mean nothing.
I get what they're saying. I had to reread it. Dyslexic. I turned shit around. Okay, so here's another fun little history fact. All whiskey. Let me grab a bottle really quick because you might be able to see some of this in it. Actually, let me grab 2 bottles. I think I have the other one here. Might have drank it. Nope, it's right here. Here we go. Okay, so
he's on a few bottles that you had an empty filter.
No, a lot of bottles are non-chill filtered, but I'm looking for a specific proof. Okay, so all whiskey, I don't know the exact year that they started doing this, and I don't want to throw out a year and get wrong. So, say somewhere in the 40s to 60s era, all whiskey was non-chill filtered. Now, what would happen, and I'll get into the actual details of what this meant, but what would happen is if the whiskey was under 100 proof, it would get cloudy. And so you could have two bottles sitting right next to each other on the shelf. One was cloudy, one wasn't. It's the same whiskey. People were buying the one that wasn't cloudy. Okay, now why was it getting cloudy? This kind of has some haze to it.
Haze, yeah.
This kind of has a little bit of haze to it. And these are both 88 proof, so these are both under 100 proof. So chill filtering your whiskey, you were taking out all the oils and the lipids and stuff that would solidify when it got too cold, and that's what was making the whiskey cloudy. It was those natural occurring oils that were in the wood that are being pulled out from it shrinking and expanding from the heat cycling, right? So all that oil is now going into your whiskey. You can't see it, but it's in there. Well, now a lot of whiskey in this time period was under 100 proof. You had some things that were at 90 proof, but usually everything was like 86 proof to 80 proof. That's kind of where everyone drank. So you're under 100 proof. So if you drop down below a temperature where those oils are solidifying, your whiskey's going to turn cloudy. So what did they do? They said, well, we're going to just go through and strip all that shit out. And now it was strictly a cosmetic thing. They said, we're going to do this just for cosmetics. We want people to buy our whiskey. We don't want them to pass on it because it's cloudy. Well, up until recently, they found that if we non-chill filter our whiskey, if we're not chill filtering it, all those oils and those lipids that are in the whiskey are actually making the whiskey have a really nice mouthfeel. It's almost like silky or oily on your palate. It sits really nicely on your palate. And there's also some added flavors that they were missing that they're now being able to get because they're not chill filtering it. So it started out as a cosmetic thing, and they did more research and they found out, hey, actually, this is a thing. Let's not do this.
That's also one thing that people need to keep in mind, because if you guys ever heard of the Lincoln County process, the County process is a filtration system. That's what makes Tennessee whiskey what Tennessee whiskey is called, because it goes through legally through the Lincoln County process. Now you realize that when the Lincoln County process is just really just filtering something through maple wood, I believe, maple wood, and
sugar maple,
whatever,
maple sure.
wood and other stuff that they use to filter it. But if you go through that process, the problem that happened at that time is that you realize that if you're drinking Jack Daniel or any true Tennessee whiskey, and you drink it, there is this weird. I feel a weird aftertaste, but there's also it is very sharp on your tongue. Like people can drink Tennessee whiskey and know it's Tennessee whiskey because it's this sharp. Yeah, people call it a Flintstone vitamin feeling. People call it, a sharpness. I call it sharp on your tongue. And some people like that sharpness. So that's another way that, honestly, filtering your whiskey sometimes may affect the whiskey itself. So non-chill filter for me is important when also it comes to Scotch. Right? Yeah, Wilderness Trail, always enjoy seeing some char. Yeah. So
we'll talk to you about that too. Go ahead, Jack. I don't want to.
So that's very important to see, because sometimes you look under your whiskey, if it's non-chilled or unchilled, unfiltered or whatnot, is like you get literally everything out of the whiskey. I think the only place where I've ever seen that done in real life is myself when I go to one of the major bottles that has that is Bourbon 30. Bourbon 30 in Lexington will let you actually pour the whiskey directly from the barrel without filtering anything. So obviously you're like, ooh, You're getting all the chars. Like, I'll show you a bottle of it. No, I'm talking like chunks of chard of the whiskey in. So
I want to talk about. Someone brought this up. I want to talk about the what's resting on the bottom of your bottle.
yeah.
This is important for taste. Okay, so what's going down here? That's flavor. Okay, so if you pick up a bottle and you see this at the bottom of your bottle, you want to do this. You want to redistribute those flavors. I know
Yeah.
you see me a lot of times. I pick up my bottles and I do this. I'm doing two things here. I'm mixing this shit that sits down at the bottom. Because so I have a lot of stuff open. Jack has a lot of stuff open. Sometimes our bottles sit and we don't always get back to them. So you want to make sure you blend all that stuff back into your whiskey. And I'm re-wetting this cork. Sometimes these corks dry out, and if you don't give them a little lubrication when you open them, that cork's gonna tear.
Yep.
You want to moisten your cork, and you want to pull straight up. I'll see pictures of corks, and they're torn or they're broken at an angle. You know what that tells me? That they're not doing this. They're doing one of these things, and they're pulling their cork to the side when they open it. Don't do that. You're gonna break your cork. Straight up, and make sure your cork's moistened. There you go.
So one other thing before I address what's on the screen, is understanding that some areas or some people will what do you call it, will have a specific way of making their whiskey, which will affect the flavor of your whiskey. But when you see unchilled and filtered, oh yeah, I'm 100% okay with that. I think we did not plan on talking about tasting notes today, but Josh is paying us. So if that's his second donation of $5, right, that's the second donation of $5. Now it seemed like just is almost right to ask his question and see.
I think it's still his $5 donation. It gives you a banner for like an X amount of time. I can see it at the top of the screen. There's a little timer going for
every time you make a note. Because I was about to say, if he's okay with it, I would love for him to come next week. We can do a real tasting because we may have a brand on, so we can actually do a real tasting of something in front of you. And you can actually see us in real life tasting something, picking up notes. And when our guests leave, we'll do a live tasting of something that we love.
Oh shit, I was wrong. This is second. Well, damn it, Josh. Son of a bitch.
That's what I thought. I thought he was second, but I thought he was.
Damn it, I was wrong. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I would love
bills tonight.
I would love for him to actually be with us if it's here next week.
It'd be great.
So we can actually have a real tasting. I will show my technique. You can show your technique, and we can truly actually do a live tasting. What is not, it's not planned. It's just real life how it is.
I would like to actually sit down with you and talk about that instead of just getting like a crash course, because it's kind of honestly, it's really fucking elaborate. Like, it's the basic idea of it's really easy, but getting into it, it's kind of elaborate. So I don't want to run through it really quick. But yeah, man, let's do something about it. That'd be great.
You are on top of my list as far as doing stuff. So yes, I want to make sure that we do this for the newbies. We do it for the people, and I'm gonna alert people.
Matt, why don't you donate $100 and you can find out there, friend?
Yes, right. So we are live still. If you guys don't know, we're on YouTube. Hood Sommelier is all you need to get on Facebook. I just wanted to do a quick video to let y'all know to come join us.
All right. So what are my opinions on neck pours? You know what? You know what? This is Monday Sucks. We'll just be honest and real. I think it's the fucking stupidest thing I've ever heard. Yes. Just being real here. I think it's dumb. In fact, if you really want to go into this, you want to send me a message on Instagram. I will throw some actual scientific shit at you where people broke this down to see if it's really a thing. There's new people getting into this hobby every single day, and I hear new things every single day, and this is the newest thing that I've heard. I could be wrong, and I would love to be wrong, but I never heard about it until just recently, and I don't seen it really be a thing. I mean, your whiskey's gonna change a little bit anyways by
Mm-hmm.
like how much you open it and close it. Like every
Mm-hmm.
time I open my whiskey, I'm
That's
exposing it
natural
to oxygen.
oxidation.
What was
Yeah.
that?
Natural oxidation.
Yeah, right. Natural oxidation. But just like a
Oh,
neck pour, like I got into this conversation. I got in this conversation with somebody recently, and he goes, "Yeah, man, neck pours are totally a thing. Like, oh,
but
I
but
have a
but, but
whiskey.
I have to
Hold
play.
on,
I have to play devil's
we
advocate.
can, we can, we can. But let me tell
Yeah.
you the story really quick, and we could. I love playing devil's advocate about this. I think it's great. And he goes, yeah, man, neck pours are totally a thing. Like, I'll open a whiskey and it totally changes a week later. And I was like, cool, man, tell me about this. So he goes, yeah, man, what I do is I open a bottle and I leave it open for 2 days and then I close it. Well, no shit, your bottle's going to taste different. You left the cork off for 2 days. What does alcohol do? Alcohol evaporates.
Evaporates.
So what happened? The alcohol evaporated. There's a reason why the whiskey doesn't taste as harsh 2 days later, because the alcohol evaporated. So in that instance,
Oh,
holy shit!
oh. You know what? You know what? Before I get to the next question, thank you, Bourbon
Oh
Jeepers.
my god!
Thank you. I have to say, I didn't see. You know what? For I was about to take my shirt off for $100, but since you said $999.99, unfortunately, you get to only see my hat come off. You only get to see my hat come off. I literally wanted to literally take my shirt off for the $100. You know, I was about to put the music on.
Kidding. I'm not taking my shirt off. It's not
On
happening.
and
I don't know
stuff.
if I froze. No,
So
it's not happening. No. What we should. I mean, shit, man. You call me out, I raise you. Damn, dude. You know what? You got to do something, bro. He legitimately did it. You got to bring him on the
yes.
show, or you gotta do something.
You call me,
Everyone's
I
calling
will
us out.
raise you.
Send him. So hold on.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold
Hold
on a
on for
second.
starters.
No, hold on. I'm bringing you back in because you were lagging. One of the main tip I've learned from Tim. Bourbon Cipher. Bourbon Cipher say taking your shirt is one of the main tips she learned from you. What did it say? Are you mobile jeeper? When is the 99 cents? Is this really mobile thing? But thank you all so much, Reverend Jeeper. Thank you so much for sending the money over. I appreciate it. It means a bit. I always say, I will shake it for $1, but $99 says a lot. So if there's something that you would like to see on the show, on a question you want to bring up, feel free. We'll allocate a time for you to be able to put there. You are a friend of ours, so you didn't have to. You do a lot for us already. So thank you for hyping us up.
Trying to show some skin.
Some skin for sure. Wouldn't you want that, John? No, John, would you want that? It's pay to play, John. If you're gonna show some skin, we're booting you out of the live.
Here's the behind the scenes hair right here. That's what you get to see. Behind the scenes hair.
I haven't finished my mellow corn only fan yet, so calm down. So,
He's coming on at the end. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. If you are on Facebook, make sure you go share and put a like on. If you're viewing on YouTube, obviously there's no more like you can put, but go on Facebook, like it, put the heart so Facebook can actually see it more often, and it will come to more people feed for them to look at. I appreciate all the effort. I know this is a new platform going from IG to coming here. I really understand that is a transition, but thank you for sticking with us. I hope that every week you invite your friend over here and can actually have a good time. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about things that are important when you're drinking scotch. because
Yeah.
because Scotch is a little straightforward, right? So what's the difference between if you why is it a bottle will say Scotch but another bottle will say whiskey? The truth simple is that anything that actually is a whiskey that was made with malted barley has to be made with 100% malted barley. Doesn't matter if it's blended or not, but 100% malted barley have to be. It used to be has to be pot still, but now they can do both, and barreled and aged in Scotland.
Does it have? Can I ask you questions like you asked me questions?
Yes.
Does Scotch have a legal term of how long it has to be aged before it can be called Scotch?
Minimum of no. There is no 6 month. I believe is the minimum.
Okay.
6 month is the minimum. Most people age it for 2 years, but 6 month is the minimum, and it has to just be made with 100% malted barley and
Got it.
aged in, barrel and aged in Scotland. Otherwise, it cannot be Scotch. It can be whiskey, but it cannot be Scotch.
So, what's the
So
difference between
single malt whiskey and single malt Scotch is that both were made with malted barley. Both were made with malted barley, pot still, but is not. One was barrel and aged in Scotland. The other one was aged somewhere.
So if it says whiskey without an E, it was aged somewhere else. It's
No,
Scotch.
no. Scotch whiskey has to be made in Scotland. It has to be barrel and aged in Scotland.
Right, I get that part.
Simple whiskey, just mean it was made with, single malt whiskey means it was made with single malt and somewhere, doesn't matter where, but 100% single malt and whiskey, but it was not aged in Scotland or come from any distillery in Scotland. Does that make sense?
Oh, wow. Okay. Sure.
So you cannot call anything Scotch if it's not out of Scotland. But it can be called single malt whiskey if it was made with 100% with malted barley.
Huh. Okay.
Does that make sense?
So
do you,
yes.
do you understand how Scotch is made? So I can do a little demonstration of what qualify as single malt whiskey before it becomes Scotch.
Well, let's do it.
So this is you guys are just funny.
Stop.
So somebody said, somebody sent $9.99. So somebody actually went, nah, screw that, $39.99. Appreciate it. Thank you, Stan. So here is the rule of Scotch. You have to be 100% malted barley, right? So they take the barley, and then the barley is wet, right? They wet the barley the barley is slightly wet and laid up. The reason why is because when you let barley in a good temperature, and what do you call it?
It germinates, right?
And let it in a good temperature with a little bit of water, it germinate. Now, they let it germinate, which means it is malting, right? It's germinating. And while it's germinating, they let it germinate just enough to see the first little thing coming off of it. And to stop the germination, they heat it up.
So right? You can malt anything.
You can malt anything, but barley is the choice, right?
Got it.
So, yeah, malted whiskey sometimes doesn't mean that they use barley to malt it, right?
Okay, sure.
So when they heat it up, they stop the germination or they stop the malting, and then they heat it up and grind it, and it becomes powder.
That's got it. Okay.
In water with enzyme to fermentate.
Got it.
And
right, because that's how you're able to create a product, because you have the enzyme.
The enzyme, the yeast.
That's the important part. Got it. Okay.
The yeast goes into that mash and then ferment it. Once it's fermented, obviously, you have your wash, and that wash is now distill to the pot still, and then distill again. And the same way as you have it, they'll have the head, the tails, and the heart.
Right. Okay.
The same way. Now also has to come for it now to qualify. Now that single malt whiskeys it goes into the barrel, a cask barrel. So there's no specificity on the barrel. So most single malt whiskey are aged in ex bourbon barrels. Actually, so most single malt whiskey are all aged in ex bourbon barrel, and it has to come from one distillery, a single distillery in Scotland, to be called Scotch whiskey. So that's literally how it is, and it's 3 years. It has to be there. No, I think it's 2 years, because 3 years is
Irish.
Irish.
3 years is Irish. Yeah,
Irish whiskey. It's 2 years, I believe. Now, a lot of distillery I've seen have not done the 3 years thing. They've been way more than that, because they're really, really, really proud of the tradition of their whiskey. So it has to be that. But thanks for helping along the way. I appreciate it. What do you call it? Somebody asked this question about Japanese whiskey. There's a reason why they call it Japanese whiskey. They can't call it Scotch. They call it Japanese whiskey because, yes, made in Japan, it is not made with, not always made with malted barley. They're kind of the renegade of whiskey. They do whatever the fuck they feel like. And as long as they just blend it under Japanese whiskey, that's it. But for them to actually be able to label it single malt whiskey or single malt, anything single malt, then obviously they have to use that malted barley. But the Japanese whiskey is really just the renegades of whiskey world. They do whatever. Rice, whatever. They will do whatever.
But it's more Japanese is more traditionally, or more in the traditional lines of like what Scotch is, right? Or is it kind of just everywhere?
No. Japanese whiskey also, I believe, usually come from Japan, but I don't know their rule, because that's what Ford was talking about the reform of Japanese whiskey, is because they're trying to set a lot of rules to be able to really have one guideline for Japanese whiskey. Like I say, Japanese whiskey don't respect any rule. They just do whatever the fuck they feel like, pretty much. So for I think those regulations that they're calling out for Japanese whiskey, they are needed. They're 100% needed. They are needed.
Sure.
So somebody came in, which is Abundant Bourbon. Thanks for joining. Mr. Adade, thanks for joining. Somebody want to know our thought on Nika coffee grain. Emily, welcome to the party. Thought on, have you ever had the Nika coffee grain?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. It's not super complex. It's okay. There's two whiskeys that I like to give to people that are interested in getting a Japanese whiskey. That's one of them, and the other one is the Toki. Toki's really light. It's floral. It's got a nice little sweetness to it. It's not super complex. It's a good transition into Japanese whiskey as well, as well as the coffee grain.
I will tell you, and Toki is a straightforward, 100% straightforward. Japanese whiskey is 101 for everybody. I tell everyone that's probably the most 101 whiskey that you can have when it comes to Japanese whiskey. Now, coffee grain have always been one of my most lovely, delicate Japanese whiskey, because for me, all the flavors are in it. I really, really, really like how it feels in your mouth and how it's going down. So it's one of my all-time favorite. Yeah, pause on that statement. And the Harmony blend. Somebody want to know. I just ordered my first Japanese foray into whiskey. Now the Harmony blend for me is an oversold. I like to say that's the one that people, if you buy it, you really are really following the hype. Because honestly, if I had my choice, I will spend the money on the straight from the barrel Nika than spend
Yes.
on the Harmony.
Yes. Yes.
So that will be my choice. The Harmony is the Blanton's of Japanese whiskey.
Harmony's
That's
100 the blend of the
that's
Japanese
really
whiskey.
how I feel like the Harmony is the Blanton's of the Japanese whiskey. So
Wow.
that's truly
Emily, I'm jealous. You got to taste some Japanese unicorns then if you're in the 8 to 10 year bracket. Um damn. You know, my everyday drinking Japanese whiskey was Hibiki 12. That's what I drank on a regular basis.
Habiki
I would
12.
just
You can't go wrong with Habiki 12.
it was everywhere. It was
Yeah,
everywhere. I could go and buy whenever I wanted a bottle, I went and bought it. $100, boom, bottle. $100, boom,
yeah.
bottle.
Now
No,
you can't
now
even
this shit
do it.
doesn't exist. It's discontinued. It's done.
You can't do
So,
it. I still have one, and
whew,
I just hold on to because I'm obsessed with collecting. So I have the 12, the
sure.
17, the 12, the 17, and the 21. And same thing for my Yamazaki. I have the Yamazaki 10 year, 12 year, uh, 18 year Yamazaki. Same thing for Hakushu.
Got
So
it.
those definitely are mine. Um, yep. Somebody say they love Nika obviously, and obviously somebody say they have good whiskey friends. That there is such a thing. This is Monday sucks. Let's talk about life lessons. Like this is our segment.
Welcome.
This is
Life
this is my
lessons.
segment of
Life lessons that don't suck. Life lessons that don't suck.
life lessons. Life lessons that do not suck. Right, life lessons that that do not suck. Okay, all right. Life lessons that do not suck. Let's go to the life lessons that do not suck. Life lessons that do not suck. Let's get to it. The one thing you need to understand about making good bourbon friends. You may hear this and go make good whiskey friends or bourbon friends. I post that all the time. There is a buddy of mine here. His name is Steve. Steve is my all-time good whiskey friends. When I say whiskey is because Steve and I drink everything, right? But Steve was into single malt when it wasn't cool to be in single malt, right? And he was
Nice. Okay.
into whiskey when he wasn't cool to be in whiskey, right? Now people are now saying they bought something like old. Steve just owned something that is old, right? Not saying that he's old himself, but he had been on this thing before some people are. So when I go to but the odd thing about Steve is that if there's one bottle he likes, he will buy as many of it as he can because he knows he's going to drink it all the time, right? But where making good friend is because I never thought a day when I met Steve that I will also impress him with something, right? He's much older
Ooh,
than me.
that's fun.
He's been in a game before me. So I never thought that too. So I usually will go, you know what? It becomes a game where I say, you know what? I bet if I make him drink this, he never had it before. But when I went to Steve's house, he has the same rule. He said, if he's open, we drinking it, right?
You drinking?
Okay. If you like it and it's not a souvenir, I'm opening it and we drinking it, right? And if it's open, if we finish it, oh well, it was a good time, right? So this is pretty much what him and I are. So what he means simply is with Steve, we killed bottles before. We kill
Yep.
things. We drink things together that he's like, oh, this like that's the limited edition 2003 four-row single barrel what edition. And he's like, oh, there's about 4 pours here. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, oh yeah, we drink it. I'm like, oh, I just want to know like I'm pouring you the same way I pour everything. We're drinking it, right? And any opportunity that he gets, where we need to sit down. We call it studying. That's what we call it. We call it studying. We're studying, right? We will take Bruichladdich today, and we drinking
Mm.
all the Bruichladdich. He's like, Steve can come and say, "Oh, do you have the 2000, 10 blah 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 Bruichladdich?" And I'm like, "I bet you don't have the latest Bruichladdich though. The 10 with that." And then now we bring those bottles together and we try into this thing, and you look forward to drinking with this person, or sharing a drum with this person, but you look forward to always trying to impress your bourbon friend that you guys share stuff to say, I have this limited stuff. This week, I talked to Sean. Sean, I call his store. I say, Sean, I'm looking for this, and this particularly, but preferably the latest and the rarest one. He's like, Sean's like, okay, got you. I found this for you. But I didn't even look for it because I wanted to try it. Because I read about it, I'm like, I bet Steve is gonna start crying when he get a sip of this bottle, right? Because I know his taste profile. So it's
Mm.
the same way when you have good whiskey friends, they look forward to. It's no longer a Booker's Rye, right? It's no longer a Hibiki 21. It's no longer this one and real limited. Is what am I gonna try with my best friend? What moment are we gonna share together around this bottle that maybe he found at retail at 150, $200, but somebody's crying on the secondary market to pay $2,000 with some G's and stripper tears, with that, just to have that bottle in the sake of either his ego because he has that bottle, or in the sake of maybe flipping it 2 years from now to get some, stripper arms and baby blood or whatever that he wants out of it, right? So those are things that we have to life lesson in this whiskey game that you need to know. Some people want to actually have you in their life because you share whiskey together. But around that love of whiskey that y'all have, it could turn into probably the most beautiful friendship you've ever had. And
Agreed.
that conclude my sermon.
I've always been in the mindset that if there's ever something that I have that's open or that I get either gifted or I went and out purchased it myself or somebody held it for me, whatever, and I ever get the mindset of I don't want to share that special. I don't deserve to be a part of this anymore. If I'm not sharing said bottle with somebody for whatever fucking reason I have stuck up in my head, now if it's something special like it's an anniversary bottle or a
Mhm.
birthday bottle or a bottle I'm saving for Harrison, that's different. I'm talking just about a cool special bottle I have on the shelf. The second I get stingy, fuck me, I'm done. I am fucking done. That's not what this is about. It's just like Jack said, share it, enjoy it, have a good time. Now, I I will say this, there's another great life lesson because I learned this the hard way and it's kind of a bummer, but it's also a really good lesson. Not everybody's your fucking friend.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
There's gonna be people that are gonna try to take advantage of your fucking of your generosity.
Hmm.
Be mindful of that. Share something with them, but don't share the super, super, super good stuff. You'll know if they're trying to take advantage of you. You'll know. They start asking questions. They're new. You just met them. They start asking about some really rare shit.
No,
Guess what? They
everybody's always new, right? And then they start asking you for shit that yourself you may have seen in your dream.
that's when you know they're trying to take. And this happened to me. Okay, I was brand new in this game, and at the time, a lot of the people that I ran with, they said, "Willet's the next big thing." This was right before Willet took off, and I said, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna get in on this. I want some cool shit to drink. I want to be into something right before it explodes. Cool. I was the trend guy, right? I was following trends. That's kind of like my thing. Well, it still is my thing. Anyway, um, so I got these extra aged Willets. I had a 15 year, a 14 year, a 13 year, a 7 year, a 9 year. I think that was it. But these were all sourced Willets. This wasn't any of Willet's own distillates. It was all stuff that Willet sourced from somewhere that's been sitting. Purple foil Willet. People would come over And that was the first thing they asked. Because I have an open door policy. You know, prior to COVID, if you wanted to come over and drink, you were more than welcome. Anyone was allowed to come over.
Yeah.
But there was people that came over that I never saw again. And guess what? Once those bottles were gone, none of those people wanted to come over. They wouldn't have anything to do with me. And I don't even see them over the house, you know. I mean, obviously COVID, but I'll see them out and about and I'm like, hey man, you know, we should get together sometime. Blah, blah. Oh yeah. And it's every excuse under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
But when I had those bottles, they wanted to hang out and drink. I was their best fucking friend. But after they were gone, so were the people. So share, but be mindful of who's around. If you have a little circle of friends and someone pops in, maybe wait to pull the good stuff. Share your whiskey. But we all have, Jack and I, you all have really, you would have bottles that you consider like the good stuff, right? Maybe wait to pull those out. Share your whiskey, but wait to pull the good stuff. I learned that the hard way. And I'm bummed for two reasons, right? I'm bummed because I felt like I was taken advantage of. Obviously I was, because I genuinely love hanging out with people. Like Jack said, people first, right? I love hanging out with people. It's my favorite thing. But those bottles were really good and now they're gone. And it's a bummer that I don't get to share them with more people that maybe were genuinely wanting to spend time with me and not my whiskey collection. There you go. There's another great life lesson. And that's my sermon for the evening.
All right. So you heard it. The rule never changed. People change, but the rule does not. So
Yeah.
People change, but the rule does not. Just make sure that you're mindful of people around you. You're mindful of.
I heard something tonight that made me go, fuck. And it's not even whiskey related. This is just life related. People can call you whatever they want. It's what you respond to.
That's true. That's very true.
I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back. People can call you whatever they want. It's what you respond to that really matters.
And that's
There we go. There we go. There we go.
All right. So life lessons that do not suck. This is Monday suck, but life lessons here do not suck. I want to make sure that we touch on probably let me see. I wanted to speaking of labels as well. I wanted to make sure that when I wanted to talk about the fact that if you are, if you are out here and looking for a bottle or reading on bottles, or you just going in to buy something, I want you to be aware of the labeling. Why is it important to be aware of the labeling? Is that the people on the internet can lie or can mislead you, but the label being federally regulated may not be misleading. It may be just what you see there. So you have to kind of be aware of it and learning to know the expressions on the label. Cask strength is just the same as barrel strength. In Scotch they use cask. Cask strength. Understanding also another thing you need to read on. A lot of bottles will say finished in, right? You say finished in. What they pretty much are saying is that the whiskey was made, and then they pour into a different barrel or a different cask. And then that cask, they give it 6 months to whatever time to actually get their flavoring in. Now, the finish in is not the problem, right? When something is finished, something, whatever. But try to read about the type of tree or the type of flavoring that has to do with the cask that was used. That will help you quite a bit. Because if you understand what Oloroso is, if you understand, what do you call it? When somebody says something is finished in a tequila cask or something was finished in an absinthe cask or anything, you need to know what those things are to know that, oh, do I really want this type of flavoring in my whiskey?
Sure.
So if you don't read on that, then people will buy a bottle like me, yours truly, that was finished in a mead barrel. And I forgot that I broke up with a girl because she took me to a mead shop. And I said, hey, if I wanted honey, I will have honey. But if you're going to put honey in water and put some yeast on it and make me drink it and say it's wine, you should. I'm breaking up with you. We are done because you skipped the grapes. You skip the grapes, and you are taking me to some honey, fake yeast honey water making. Uh, it's not even beer. It's not even wine. I don't know what it is. It's meat. So I say, if I need a time, if I needed a time machine and go back to the early, pre-Jesus time to drink some meat, I would do that. But you can't take me on a date and make me drink some honey, water, yeasty stuff and tell me you like that. That is just like Sauvignon Blanc. The lies you're telling, the lies.
Oh
I
shit.
say no, we're not doing this. So you have to understand that knowing what things are finished in, right? You know, yeah. So you will on Belly's podcast, you would.
I like how he's like, it's kind of shit.
Yeah, but you have to understand. You know what? If something is finished in a specific barrel, you need to be aware of what that barrel is going to bring to the flavor. And so don't go say, "Oh, I heard this thing is finished in unicorn barrel." I'm sorry.
I don't know what unicorn barrel is.
Yeah. Oh, Kimmy came through.
Stop.
Woo. Woo. Thank you, Kimmy. Our people are supporting us today. Our people are.
Man, y'all guys, this feels really good. Seriously. Thank you.
I feel so loved.
Seriously, guys.
So love. It's just
y'all rock.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Next thing y'all know, we are wearing new clothes and new shirt. For $4.99 a show, y'all can support this immigrant here. Somebody cue Sarah McLaughlin song. For $4.99 a show, you can support this the angel here. But
it's not easy being a single barrel snob.
It's not easy.
Your contribution can help too. Oh shit.
Oh. Not
stacking the stickers.
Now, yeah.
Stacking the stickers.
For $4.99, you can help the man get from hood to the neighborhood. John, I'm sad. You are promoting it, but you are not helping. You got it. You take me from the hood to the neighborhood. I am so poor I can afford the name. Anywho, another thing you guys also need to. The one thing I wanted to bring up, one of the crazy thing I wanted to bring up was what did it call? One of the craziest thing I wanted to bring up was independent bottlers. I have to tell y'all something about independent bottling or independent craft bottles that you see. When it comes to Scotch, when you hear independent,
the legal term in American is non-distilling producers. So NDPs. That's what there it is. NDPs.
So people that go buy their MGPs, or people that are just going there and buying something from someone. Perfect example will be
we're talking 100% not distilling, just sourcing, right?
Yeah, Blue Run.
Okay.
People that stuff, right? 100% source Blue Run. He took the juice from somewhere. He labeled it himself and brought it up. You have to understand that those are not people to also be ignored, right? So when you see a brand somewhere and you don't see that it was distilled anywhere, so it doesn't say on it that it was distilled. It just says that it been. It says Kentucky, how many year, right? And you just see the name on it, and it will just tell you where it was bottled, right? Barrel, same thing.
These are both NDPs,
right?
They're not distilling. They don't have any desire to distill. They're sourcing and blending, creating their own thing.
They taste and the blend, and they go. Another person that actually taste and blend.
Yep, there you go. Another great example of an NDP for sure.
So you guys should be aware of that. Doesn't mean that they actually. Some people are not good at making the whiskey.
That's fine.
Not good,
That's
but
perfectly fine.
Some people are good at actually tasting the whiskey a certain way and wanted to actually have it in a different way. So
Smoke wagon, you're right.
the
Smoke
smoke
wagon's also
wagon
an
is
NDP.
another one, right? Smoke wagon is another one, right? When you're drinking smoke wagon, right? So you just have to. I have to say, some people may just come and put it, taste a barrel and say I like it, but instead of making it a single barrel, they're like, oh, I want you to repeat it exactly that way, right? So you have to understand that it is important for you guys to know that those are not bad whiskeys, right? The traditional whiskey is made, but just know what sourcing are they using. That will let you know exactly. Now, legally, they don't have to tell you, right? The sourcing. They don't have to. We've seen this with St. Cloud.
Great example, right?
Yes.
So Joe Beatrice, that's the master blender at at Barrel Bourbon. He'll go and say he'll tell you the region. That's all he can do because of his NDAs. He can't tell you the distillery that it's from. He can tell you the area. Now, most of the Tennessee whiskey is Dickel, so we're going to guess that this is probably Dickel. But I mean, Kentucky could be anything, right? But that's as far as he can go. I mean, not that's as far as he will go. Forgate, on the other, if you go to their website and search some of their whiskeys,
It will
for
tell
the
you.
most part, they'll give you the mash bill, and if you do a little research, you can figure out where that whiskey was actually from, and that's part of their NDA. So, yeah, that's just to piggyback on what Jack is saying. They don't have to tell. They don't have to tell you Dick. I mean, they really don't.
So the other thing that we need to pay attention to, say they are completely transparent, is different when they're throwing state names and okay, yeah, that's true. That is very true. Yeah, yeah. So we have to be aware of these things so you know exactly what you're drinking. Our goal here is just to help you out. We're not going to tell you what to or not to buy because that's not our job. That's 100% not our job. But we would like to help you make better choices. And that's really
Mm-hmm.
what you're here for. Help you make better choices, right? So that's really why we wanted to bring this. Okay, somebody say if you want to do taste together, the nose, the taste, the finished nose. I started it. Next week we are doing the tasting together. Okay. All right.
Let's do it.
So I wanted to make sure that we educate y'all, and that's what we'll be doing. Sometime we'll bring a brand, but I want to always bring you something. So next time we're talking about labeling, I will actually, for you people that like les produits de France, les produits de France, meaning product up from France. Next time we are doing a taste, we get our guest in next week. I believe we have a guest. I will do a little the back hour or the back half hour because 2 hours sometimes may be too long for us. So an hour and a half seem to fit really well in what we have to say. I will be doing what you guys need to learn as far as labeling on cognac and armagnac. I will give you a little tutorial that doesn't deserve a whole hour. It's about 30 minutes. All the acronym that you guys see, and maybe if you guys actually don't want to see me without my shirt and we get a few donation like we got today, I may actually tell you guys a little bit about labeling on your tequila. So,
Oh, there we go. That's fun. Talk about some
so
tequila.
yeah, we're gonna do cognac, armagnac, and tequila to be able to educate y'all on it. Did I tell you that I actually got a chance to taste my first barrel pick tequila? It's just amazing.
Oh. Are you doing let's see, Luna Azul does one, Herradura does one. Um damn it, what's the one from Buffalo Trace? Was it a Buffalo Trace tequila?
No, no.
El Tesoro does one, Patron does one. Who was it? Who's
I think
tequila?
I b- no El no. Isn't it El Tesoro? Hold on.
Oh man, if you got an El Tesoro single barrel, sign me up. Holy shit.
Hold on.
Woo! Now you're talking.
Let me see if El Tesoro. No. I don't think it's El Tesoro. I believe it's Dobel.
What is it?
Dobel.
Oh shit. Okay.
Dobel.
Who's doing that?
Yeah. There you go.
Someone's got some money. Is that a Cristalino?
No. Is
that's an anejo that they stripped all the color out of, right?
No. This is a reposado.
Okay. Yeah. It's yeah.
So it's a reposado, and they have their añejo here.
There you go.
That was actually aged in Hungary and American oak.
Oh shit!
So these are all single barrels selected by my local store here.
Oh my god, we need to talk.
I tasted, and I'm going to get 3 more bottles of the rest.
Oh my god, we need to talk. I love single barrel tequila.
Single barrel tequila is just
that's some next level shit.
I was like, whoa. I was very. And yeah, somebody said they had that this weekend.
ADHD sneaks in. Look at him. ADHD just sneaking in. What's up, buddy? Just sneaking in here. Big time celebrity just rolling in. Big time celebrity just rolling in. This is for you, bud. Cheers. Cheers, buddy.
Hey, bud. Welcome on. Yes. This is single barrel tequila.
Man, that's.
They say, have you tried the Sazerac age barrels? Yes, I have all of them. I
wasn't super impressed with those ones, to be honest. Like, they're not bad, but you know what I had that I thought was going to be super gimmicky, but it's a little gimmicky, but I actually really liked it, was the Luna Azul Elijah Craig Añejo. I thought that was good. I liked that one. And it wasn't super expensive. I think it was like between $30 and $50. It was really, really well done. But yeah, tequila is a sneaky fat cat. Oh my god. But yeah, tequila's fun, man. Tequila's a blast. I'm about single barrel tequila. I mean, you have to be, right? Single barrel snuff. You got to. Cheers, bud.
The sneaky, like a fat cat. Until the fall creep. No, thank you, ADHD. It means a lot. You haven't invited us to your channel yet, which is a crime.
I miss seeing your face, man. We gotta do something about this.
He's just scared of the competition here. Because he claimed to be the best word taster.
He was my competition. He beat me. So
I'm just saying, he's just afraid of a little competition coming from me. So he's we were in a competition together. He beat me. He's allowed to do whatever he wants. I don't care. He can hang out here. He wasn't in competition with me. My palate is different. He's just afraid. I'm like,
all right, throwing down the gauntlet.
Yeah, I'm
throwing down the gauntlet. Let's go.
I'm officially challenging ADHC to actually come on with his palate.
All right.
His world champion belt need to be taken away, because I truly believe I will beat him like an old drum. That's all I know.
Dang. All right. You know what we should start doing? It'd be fun. Let's start creating.
Am I seeing somebody in the chat?
I don't know. Are you?
Oh, I am.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you are.
Guess what? I don't know how he ended up here.
Yeah, I don't either. What the heck is happening tonight?
But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We have something.
What's up, dude?
When you call the gam,
I snuck that one in, Jack. I'm sorry.
So when you throw money at us, obviously you get privilege like this. I don't know. The man gave $99. Now he took over the rest of the back channel. He's
I
legit.
just sneak in here, man. That's what I do.
He just sneak in. So for Matt, thank you for your donation. I appreciate
problem.
you donating. If you
But
guys
you know
don't,
this comes with consequences, right?
yes, it does. That's why I'm very worried. I am quite worried.
You should be. So when you call the gambler's going to call you chips, right? So yeah. So I'm going to challenge you guys. I'm for next week's show. I'm going to give you a theme.
Okay.
Oh
But-
damn. Okay.
But there's the twist. Whatever the
Okay.
theme is, you have to dress the part for the theme.
Wow.
Ah, shit. All right. I'm
You are
game.
the one who
I'm game.
spoke. You know what? You were just a cheap
So
ass.
guess what?
Yeah.
You just created. You officially, guys, give it up for Bourbon Cheaper, because he officially just created what the $99.99 tier does. You get to come on the show towards the end, and you get to call next week's show, and then we have to dress in that style.
Jack's about to reach through this.
That's what the
this system and throttle
That's
me.
what the $99.99 tier gets you. You get to call the show. There you go. Call the show for next week. $99.99. You get to be a part of it. There you go. Son of a bitch. This is gonna be fun. Cheers, bud. Cheers. This is how you keep things fresh.
I'm just waiting to hear what the man has to say.
I feel like he's gonna tell us privately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, god damn it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you till about Thursday, and then I'll give you some prep time. I'll give you some prep time.
Come on. All
no,
right.
I'm gonna make it fair. So it'll be
Make sure it looks good with my skin color.
Of course. Not so much for Tim. He may have to shave his beard. I don't know.
Fucking way more money than it for me to shave this shit off.
No, I'm just messing with you. But no, we'll make it a little fun, right? So let's do it around.
What is burlesque bourbon? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, actually, that's a great idea. I like that. Tim and Jack do burlesque bourbon. That's fucking.
Get out of here, Tanner. Get out of here, Tanner.
I love it. No, we'll just make it a theme around whiskey and bourbon, but you're going to have to dress the part for the theme. And I'll be fair. I'll make it easy for you guys. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
10K. Oh. 10K. There you go. 10K and I'll shave my beard. That's how much it costs to get me to shave my beard. 10K.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Jesus, what's someone going to do for $1 million? Well, that's another question.
This man just came from Vegas. It sounds like it's like yeah.
No, I did pretty well in Vegas. I'm gonna be honest. I did great on that trip, so it was good.
Hey, John, don't talk a big game. All right, I feel like you're just talking game. 10K, I'll shave my beard. In fact, 10K, I'll do it fucking live.
Wow.
Do you know how long it's been since this face has been bare? It's been at least 20 years.
The best comment I've ever heard, I've ever seen.
10,000 pennies.
Yeah, Stan's going to count them one by one.
One by one.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, shit, got to 10. Yeah, exactly.
1, 2.
Oh, man.
Shit.
At least I didn't come on and say you've got to open the most expensive bottle you have, pop it live, chug it.
You know what? Actually, that will actually give me an excuse to open that fucking bottle, because I've been looking at it for a while and I'm like, I should totally open this shit.
What is it?
I believe the most expensive bottle I have right now. Whew, I don't know if I want to say it live.
Wow.
Yes, you do. Do it. You have
Johnny
to.
on the spot right here.
I think, okay, I'll go in most expensive bottle that people.
It's got to be a bottle of scotch.
Yes. So it is commemorative Cavalon 10-year anniversary only given to employees only.
Wow.
I think probably second best is a collector item is I believe is in 1980. Yeah, but original Macallan.
I knew it was going to be a Scotch.
Yeah.
It had to have been a
Gotta be.
Scotch.
That's but bourbon wise, I can say probably. I don't know, the most expensive bourbon that I have is not even. I don't think is that expensive, but yeah, it's. But every expensive bourbon like the Pappies and whatnot, I actually was lucky that I only got mine at retail.
Yeah, why did we actually get to this point when we have to talk about a bottle that was really $100 and now is $2,500? I mean, when did this take that turn?
I know, right? That's what he's pouring.
Mine's empty for a reason. Okay.
Yeah.
Mine's empty for a reason.
Right there.
Yes.
You know, I walk in a store down here, right, and they've got Eagle Rare 17, which, you know, it's a nice pour.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, what's that going to cost? $2,500.
No. You know how much I paid for this year? The best one actually. Do you know how much I paid for this year? William Weller, 2020 William Weller LaRue.
Hopefully not more than 200.
It was actually 119.
119, yeah. It's what it should be.
That's all it was.
Yeah, Tim froze out of the shock of having to.
His internet needs some internet.
I'm back.
He froze out of the
I'm
shock of the Pappy Van Winkle being
His
drawn.
internet needs some internet. Because it's the craziest thing that I actually love. Everybody talk a good game about the Weller William LaRue, and I just look at it. I'm like, okay.
It's sorry if it goes Matt with the hat. I love it. You know what? I'm having to wear this hat because my hair has gone out of fucking control. It's bad.
That's what I said. The only reason why I actually wanted the BTAC, and no thanks to you, Sean. I wanted the BTAC this year just because of the pictures of the dead people in inside.
Pictures of the dead people.
You know, that's really what I wanted.
You just want to line them up in your bedroom at night and put a little light underneath so you can see all the dead people.
The dead people inside. That's all I wanted.
Oh my god!
That's I'm telling you, that's the only reason why I was so excited about this year BTAC. I'm like, I just want to see all the dead pictures inside. It was so cool.
I'll be honest. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Inside the bottle.
So this year, the 2020 BTAC have the founders. The picture of the founders of the brand inside.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, when you drink it, pretty much when you get to it, you can see the holographic picture.
I missed that one. All right, that's cool. Yeah, I missed
what was the brand? Oh man, I can't find my bottle down here because I can't reach it. But what was the brand? Slow and Low. They used to do this really cool thing where they used to embellish the inside label. Of the bottles, and it used to be newspaper prints from the years that they were dropping.
Wow!
And then,
that's rad.
It was really cool. However, they then did a series where they'd actually put a semi-naked body in the back of the bottle, but because everything got politically correct, they had to get rid of it. So now it's just nothing in the back. But the old bottles are awesome.
It's like the Sailor Jerry bottle. You used to pull it back, and it was a Sailor Girl, and then they were like, "Oh, we can't do that now. Now it's just a Sailor Jerry tattoo." But it used to be Sailor Jerry Girls on the inside of the label.
Yep, they got rid of it, and they're great bottles.
Sure did.
When you empty them out, I
see dead people.
The etch was cool. Well, I'm going to drop off. I just wanted to drop on and say hi and give you a challenge for next week. So I don't want to ruin your show.
Looking forward. You're not ruining the show, but looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I appreciate you jumping on. Thank you.
Of course. No problem. See you guys later.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Love you, bud.
So, yes, As you can see, our show went approximately the way we want to. We start with some bullshitting, education, or guest,
Yeah, man.
and then we
Shit.
bring one of you guys in. So
It's good
you
shit.
want to appear? You want to appear on the show? You want to receive a link to the show? Maybe. I think Matt said the standard 99.99.
99.99.
99.99 was for you to jump on the show immediately. But I promise you, none of this money is actually maybe going to our pocket. It may be for a good cause or setting up maybe a Monday Sucks Live or sponsoring something for somebody else. That's the reason why we have this show. Now, if you guys start sending 10K, yeah, Tim may probably we'll get Tim a new
That's a
car.
different story.
We'll get Harrison. We'll get Harrison a new bike, and he's just gonna be the coolest dude out there. And we'll buy a Pappy 23 at cost just to actually drink it for y'all, just to prove again that we are the renegade of the internet at this time.
There you go.
So, Tim, tell the people where they can find you.
You could find me on the good old modernthirst.com, whiskey news and reviews on the good old Instagram. It's Single Barrel Snob and Modern Thirst. You find me on the Truth is Barrel Proof podcast. And here on the YouTubes and the Facebooks. And there you go. Those are the places you can find me. Jack's over here chugging bottles like he's out of his mind. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Yeah, no, that Thomas Handy is what I call my regular flex.
Hey John, if this really happens, I'll let you do it. But I got sensitive skin. I got sensitive skin.
When you're
penny
that sir is the joke of the night. Mellow corn when you're a penny short of $100.
You know what's funny is I was curious why it was being done that way, and the reason it's being done that way is because that's how the donate works. Like it's the most it lets you do is $99.99.
Oh, okay.
It's like a slide bar.
Yeah, but also it does limit us till people start donating more. It won't let you take a certain amount, just to make sure that you are trustworthy.
Yep.
But truly,
hi Emily, I love you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate you guys.
Jack, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on the gram. Not to trash me, but you can find me on the gram at Hood HOOD_sommelier. You can find me here on YouTube at Hood Sommelier. Make sure if you're watching the show right now, go ahead and subscribe and put the bell on. And you can, and I believe you can, and find me also on Facebook, Hood Sommelier. And you can find us, all of us, our community podcast, The Truth is Barrel Proof podcast, where we give you a 5-minute review of bottle that we tasted so you can actually make better decision in your purchase bottle. And remember, for all you brands that are watching us, we can use a sponsor in this brand. So if you are interested in sponsoring the show, make sure you reach out to me and we will see. My Monday sucks at gmail.com. My Mondays suck at gmail.com. We are here every Monday. We're here to spread love and knowledge in the whiskey industry. If you have any question, please don't hesitate. It's My Monday Sucks. My Mondays suck at gmail.com. So he is the Single Barrel Snob. I am the Hood Sommelier, and we will see you next weekend. Next Monday, next weekend.
Next week. Next week.
All right, next week, next Monday. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers, dudes.